Welcome to Rise and Recap. Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters is a 2013 American dark fantasy action horror film. Hansel and Gretel work together to exterminate witches for hire. Abandoned by their father deep in a forest one night, young Hansel and Gretel enter a gingerbread house and are quickly nabbed by the old witch who resides in it. The witch forces Hansel to continuously eat candy while making Gretel prepare the oven, but before she has a chance to eat them, they turn the tables on her and, in a twist of fate, end up trapping her in the oven instead. Throughout the years after the incident, Hansel and Gretel become ruthless bounty hunters dedicated to exterminating witches. Their work is relatively easy because for an unknown reason they are immune to harmful witch spells and curses. Hansel, however, is diabetic as a result of his ordeal with the old witch and needs to take a regular shot of insulin every day. One day, in the German town of Augsburg, Hansel and Gretel prevent Sheriff Berenger from executing Mina, a young woman falsely accused of witchcraft. Mayor Engelmann has hired the siblings to find and rescue several children abducted by witches. Hansel and Gretel track down a witch to a remote cottage deep in the northern forest. As they approach the eerie home, Gretel cautiously opens the door and finds the witch inside. A tense confrontation quickly escalates. When Gretel confronts her, the witch suddenly hurls a knife toward her. Acting fast, Gretel fires an arrow from her specialized weapon. The witch, however, manages to escape by leaping onto her flying broomstick and launching herself through the window. Just as she tries to flee, Hansel and Gretel work together in a coordinated move, using their skills and weapons in tandem to bring her down before she can get away. Learning more clues about the witch's plans and the upcoming blood moon ritual. Ben Walson introduces himself to the titular siblings, Hansel and Gretel, as a huge fan of their work. This moment occurs early in the film, when the two famous witch hunters arrive in Augsburg. Ben is a young, enthusiastic villager who admires Hansel and Gretel for their legendary reputation in killing witches. He gushes about their heroic deeds and even shows off some knowledge of their past hunts. Hansel and Gretel are clearly unimpressed by his fanboy enthusiasm at first, brushing him off as annoying. However, Ben's character later becomes an important ally, helping them with research and even joining in the fight against the witches. At the same time, Berenger hires 4 trackers for the same mission, hoping to regain the respect of the mayor. However, all but one of the trackers are killed that night by the powerful Grand Witch Muriel, who sends the surviving member back to the town tavern to explode as a warning to the siblings and the locals. Muriel, the powerful dark witch, is testing a fellow witch's resistance to fire. She takes the other witch's hand and holds it over the fire to see how she reacts. At first, the witch shows no sign of pain. Her hand stays in the flames without flinching, which surprises and impresses Muriel. It suggests a magical immunity or resistance to fire. However, just a few seconds later, the witch suddenly screams in pain and pulls her hand back, revealing that she can in fact feel the burning. Muriel's amazement turns to disappointment, realizing that the witch is not as fireproof as she initially appeared. Hansel reunites with a woman named Mina, who is later revealed to be a white witch. She is the same woman who was about to be burned at the stake in the opening market scene, falsely accused of witchcraft by the townspeople. Hansel and Gretel are hunting a witch and devise a trap to lure her out. They use a carved pumpkin dressed like a small child and hide a radio transmitter inside it, playing the recorded voice of a crying boy saying he's lost. This bait is placed in the woods, knowing the witch would be drawn to vulnerable children. Hansel and Gretel ambush her, initiating a surprise attack. Hansel and Gretel, with the help of the mayor's assistant Jackson, capture the tall witch and interrogate her. They discover that the witches are preparing for the Feast of the Blood Moon, which requires sacrificing 12 children, 6 boys and 6 girls, each born on a separate month. When the siblings find out that the witches need one more girl to complete their ritual, Berenger refuses to cooperate with them in locating her. Suddenly, Muriel and Thrall, Edward, attack the town and abduct the targeted girl before springing their comrade out of jail. Gretel is knocked unconscious throughout the ordeal, but is brought to safety by a local boy named Ben, who is aspiring to be a witch hunter himself. Ben helps Gretel. It's after a confrontation with Muriel, the powerful witch. Gretel is injured and Ben, a young townsman, offers to help her. He brings her to his home to tend to her wounds, where she takes a rest. As Gretel recovers, Ben expresses his admiration for her and her skills as a witch hunter, revealing his own desire to become a witch hunter as well. He sees the danger witches pose to their world and wants to join the fight. This moment builds his character, showing his eagerness to protect others and his respect for Gretel's abilities. The next morning, Hansel is found by Mina, who takes him to a spring to heal his wounds. Meanwhile, Gretel enters the forest to search for her brother, but she is assaulted by Berenger and his men, who are arresting her for luring the witches to their town. Then, from out of nowhere, Edward charges at the men and mutilates them before bringing Gretel to a waterfall to mend her injuries. When asked by Gretel why he saved her, Edward tells her that trolls serve witches before he walks away. Hansel and Gretel reunite at an abandoned cabin, which they discover is not only their childhood home, but also a witch's lair. Muriel appears in front of them, telling them the truth of their past. It is revealed that Hansel and Gretel's mother was a white witch named Adriana, who betrayed her kind by marrying a farmer. On the night of the blood moon, the heart of a white witch is needed to create a potion that makes witches impervious to fire. As Adriana was too powerful for the sacrifice, Muriel targeted Gretel, who was revealed to be a white witch herself. To keep the siblings away from the angry villagers, their father left them in the forest, but when he returned to their home, he was hanged by the villagers, while Adriana was burned at the stake before his eyes. Following this revelation, the siblings battle Muriel, before Muriel stabs Hansel and abducts Gretel for the ceremony. Hansel wakes up to the sight of Mina, who reveals herself to be a white witch. After Mina uses a spell to bless the siblings' arsenal, Hansel, Mina, and Ben head to the top of a hill to disrupt the Feast of the Blood Moon. While Mina mows down dozens of witches with a Gatling gun, Hansel squares off against Muriel's minions and frees the children while Edward defies Muriel's orders and releases Gretel before he is thrown off the cliff by Muriel. With the ceremony ruined by the sunrise, Muriel and the surviving witches attempt to flee by broomsticks, but the witches are shredded by piano wire traps, while Ben shoots Muriel off her broomstick. On her way to meet up with Hansel, Gretel finds an unconscious Edward and uses her stun gun to defibrillate him back to life. Hansel, Gretel, and Mina follow Muriel's trail to the old gingerbread house. During their confrontation, Mina is fatally stabbed by Muriel. The siblings engage in a grueling fight against Muriel inside the gingerbread house until they decapitate her with a shovel. In the end, Hansel and Gretel collect the rest of their reward for rescuing the children before embarking on their next hunt, with Ben and Edward joining them. In the final scene, Hansel, Gretel, Ben, and Edward venture into a desert to track down and kill another powerful witch, who is believed to be a major threat. The group confronts her inside the house, where they face off in an intense battle. Ultimately, they destroy her, saving themselves and ensuring the witch's dangerous plot does not succeed. If you like this kind of content, just hit the like and subscribe button for more future videos.